The Fire King's structure deck is just a week away, and today we're going to be going over everything you need to know about the deck. I'm going to be going over the new cards, what you need to know, the combo lines, and of course show you a deck profile. But before all that, we have an announcement. Today's Friday, which means that tomorrow we have our weekly live stream on Saturday, so if you do want to participate in our sleeves giveaways, I've been giving away a ton of sleeves all week long on Twitter. If you don't know this, head over to Twitter right now, participate in all of them, so tomorrow you could possibly win some. And before we begin, like the video, subscribe, and let's get this going. So, Fire King Structure Deck is the new structure deck out of the TCG, a very good one showing a lot of competitive success in the OCG, especially now with a second wave of support for the Sinful Spoils engine that really boosts the deck. And if you haven't noticed, this is the year of fire for Yu-Gi-Oh! A lot of fire support, a lot of pyro support, and Fire Kings are no different. And every structure deck that is playable right out of the box is already a win in my book. So let us start off by looking at the new cards and the cards you need to know. Legendary Fire King Ponix can special summon itself from the hand if a fire monster is destroyed. On summon can search a Fire King spell or trap, and if it was destroyed during the next standby phase, can return itself to the hand from the graveyard. And of course, it's a level 1 fire monster, so you know what that means. Sacred Fire King Garunix can special summon itself from the hand or graveyard if a fire monster is destroyed, and on summon can destroy another fire tri-beast type from the hand, deck, or face-up field except itself. Then it gains attack equal to half of the attack of the destroyed monster until the end of the turn. Fire King High Avatar Kirin can, as a quick effect during the main phase, destroy another fire monster in hand or face up on the field to special summon itself from the hand. If it is destroyed, you can special summon another Fire King monster from your hand or graveyard, non-targeting, and then you can destroy another card on the field. Fire King Avatar Barong is not a new card, but it can special summon itself from the hand if a fire monster is destroyed by card effect, and during the standby phase after it was destroyed, you can add a Fire King monster from your deck to your hand. Fire King Arvada and Fire King Hanuman are your negates. Arvada can negate monster effects and then destroy a fire monster in hand or field, and summon another fire tri-beast type from the graveyard when it's destroyed, but it is negated and destroyed during the end phase. And of course, Hanuman can negate a spell and trap card and destroy another fire monster in hand or field. Garunix Eternity is your Xyz that on summon can destroy all monsters on the field, has an ignition effect to destroy a spell or trap on the field and then gain attack, and if it is destroyed while it has a material, you can special summon Fire King monsters up to the number of materials it had, including itself. And Garunix Eternity is usually summoned using your Sanctuary of the Fire Kings, which on activation places a Fire King island on your field, can protect it from destruction, and if your opponent special summons a monster, you can Xyz summon a fire monster using monsters you control. And lastly, Fire King Sacred Immolation targets a number of Fire Kings you control and the same amount of cards your opponent controls and destroys them. And you can currently already combine this with very interesting engines, like for example the Sinful Spoils engine that gives you access to summoning Ponix directly from your deck using the original Sinful Spoils because it's a level 1 fire. And the Dogmatika engine can actually search Ponix, and we'll show that later in the video, from your deck, and since you don't usually have to go into your extra deck during turn 1, the Dogmatika lock doesn't really matter. So now that you know all the key cards for the deck, let's look at a few combos. Let's go over the 1 card combo Legendary Fire King Ponix. It's not a whole lot of interruption, but it is a very powerful effect, a lot of pluses, a lot of advantage from this card, and a lot of follow-up as well. So Ponix normal summon, we're going to be searching to our hand the Sanctuary of the Fire King. Now, the Fire King Sanctuary is going to activate, and on activation going to place the Fire King Island from the deck. Now, Island will destroy a monster in the hand or in the on the field, and then search for a Fire King monster, which is going to be Fire King, Sacred Fire King Garunix. Now, on resolution, a fire monster was destroyed, we can special summon the Garunix here, and then Garunix on summon destroys from the deck, which is kind of busted. We go into Barong here, destroy it, and that's basically the 1 card combo. During the standby phase, you get 2 trigger effects. 1, Ponix to return to the hand, and then Barong as 2 to add a Fire King monster. Now, you can add the High Avatar Kirin, which during your opponent's turn, whenever you need the interruption, can go ahead, destroy the Ponix here, special summon itself, And then when your opponent summons a monster, you can activate the effect of Sanctuary to Xyz summon during your opponent's turn the Garunix Eternity, which pops everything on the field. Now, during this next standby phase, you can go ahead and return the Ponix to the hand, which is again another starter tier combo. And if this is destroyed, for example, if you want to add a Fire King, you can destroy this, and in the graveyard, it can trigger to summon both monsters up to the number of materials that it had. So this is the 1-card combo. Now, another interesting thing that you can actually do with this build specifically is use the Dogmatica engine that I mentioned before, which is again a 1-card combo to get to your 1-card combo. So we're just going to add Nadir Servant here, and then go ahead, activate the Nadir Servant, sending the Garura, searching for Dogmatica Maximus from the deck. Also drawing a card, which is great. Hand Trap, let's go. Now we can summon by banishing the Garura. It's an activated effect in the hand. You banish for cost. You and your opponent send 2 monsters from the extra deck. We're going to be sending Shrek and Titanic Lad. Lore. And then in the graveyard, Shrek is going to be able, because you have 1 monster banished, search a level 1 winged beast, which is of course our Ponix, which is really, really good because then you can normal summon it, go into your combo. You saw that we don't really go into the extra deck. And then during the end phase, you can go ahead and activate Titanic Lad here to grab yourselves Fleur-de-Lis to the hand as an additional negate. And now for the 2-card combo plus any other card that you need to send to the graveyard, and it's probably this is now where you'll see where this deck gets its power from. So we're going to start in the draw phase by activating Wanted to search for Diabellstar. She's a mainstay in this deck. During the main phase, we can activate, just summon the Diabellstar, activate the effect on summon, and then when it is summoned, we can set the original Sinful Spoils. Now we can activate Tenki here. Tenki is going to search a Beast Warrior, which is going to be Fire King Arvada, which is our monster negate that we need access to. Now, we can go ahead, activate the original Sinful Spoils, send the Tenki, which is completely free, then go into our legendary Fire King Ponix that is going to search for a copy of Sanctuary of the Fire King. Now, we'll activate that. This goes to the graveyard. On activation, this will place the island from the deck. And now we can go ahead and destroy the Ponix to search Garunix. Now, on resolution, we're going to be activating the Garunix here to summon it because a monster was destroyed. Then, when it is summoned, we can destroy a monster, a fire monster from our deck, hand, or face-up field. And we're going to be destroying the Barong. Now, we want this in the graveyard, right? We do want this in the graveyard, so we're just going to go into SP a Little Knight here. Now, what we're going to do is continue on, and then during the next standby phase, we have 2 triggers here. Now we have the Ponix to add itself back to the hand, and then we have the Barong to go ahead and add ourselves a copy of Kirin. Now, this is your setup where you want to be. Now, during your opponent's turn, your opponent's going to start playing, and you're going to want to start destroying things. So first of all, it's important to use Little Knight early because you want it banished when you go into the big Xyz that pops everything, right? Now, once you've used the Little Knight, you can use Kirin here and destroy your Arvada in order to summon it. And then, since a monster was destroyed, you can activate the Garunix here to summon itself. Now, Garunix is going to be destroying a card, and we're going to be doing this from the deck. And this is going to be High King Avatar Kirin, of course, which in the graveyard can summon back the Arvada we just destroyed and destroy a card on the field. So it's important that you do this when your opponent is already setting up in order to destroy a card. Now, this is a negate on field, and then when your opponent will inevitably special summon a monster, then we can go ahead and go for the Garunix here and pop the entire field, of course. And then during the end phase, Little Knight returns, and you have follow-up for days. So this is the 2-card combo, Tenki and Diabellstar. Really, really good. You got to negate, you got to pop the entire field, you got an SP Little Knight, and you got a lot of follow-up as well. And a quick moment before we wrap this up, I promised you some builds. So take a screenshot of this, try this. This is a pretty solid and normal build. You can see that the extra deck is pretty varied. You You can also play things like Super Poly just because you rarely go into your extract and you definitely don't need all slots. And then we also showed the Nadir Servant build. This is pretty much how it looks like: the Nadir engine plus Maximus and Fleur-de-Lis, and Garura, Shureg, and Titanic Lad. This is it for Fire Kings. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think about this deck? Are you picking this up? I kind of recommend that you do. Leave your comments. Don't forget to come here tomorrow at the same time for our live stream, where we of course have a lot of giveaways of a lot of sleeves. So check it out. Hit the bell. See you tomorrow. Peace.